Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, the founder of the Art of Living Foundation, the distinguished chairperson, Mrs. Barumati Narasimhan, chairperson of the International Women's Forum, the Art of Living of Fiji, the International Association for Human Values, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished speakers. Bula Vinaka from Fiji. At the outset, on behalf of the delegation from Fiji, as well as the Acting High Commissioner for Fiji, Mr. Nilesh Kumar, I wish to convey to the International Women's Conference and the co-hosts, the International for Human Values and the Art of Living, our deepest appreciation for the warm welcome and the very kind and generous hospitality accorded to us in this amazing institution and its amazing people. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be part of this great family. You know, there are certain events that we experience in our lives that shape our future when we consciously or unconsciously allow it to happen. When I was 13 years old, attending a boarding school for girls, my friends used to enjoy swimming in the nearby river on Sunday afternoons. The girls used to wonder why I sit on the riverbank and watch them. They didn't know that I did not know how to swim. One day, my best friend decided to surprise me by pushing me into the river. I was engulfed with fear, never before experienced. Nonetheless, intuitively, my senses told me I must not be afraid if I am to survive and try to reach the shallow part of the river on the other side. So I had to swim for my life and wildly kick the water with my arms splashing the water backwards to move my body forward. It was an experience I will never forget. Suddenly I was on the other side of the river. My legs could touch ground. I told myself, my goodness, I swam. So while the girls continued playing with excitement, I continued swimming for my life across the river. My achievement was that I learned how to swim on my own because I had confidence. Thank you. I did not allow fear to be victorious over me. That was a turning point in my life and a lesson learned that was never to be afraid to take challenges and to value yourself and your God-given ability to reach whatever goal you may aspire to achieve. Please allow me to share some of my achievements, made possible, I believe, by my life-saving swimming experience. Firstly, I took the challenge of becoming the first Fijian female dentist in Fiji. At school, after a career talk to our class by a dentist, 5 of us girls contemplated taking up dentistry. So we were advised to visit a dental clinic to see exactly what working as a dentist will be like. When we saw blood oozing out of patients' mouths after extractions, the other 4 girls were okay, but I fainted. After I was revived, the nurses told me that I will get used to it, not to be afraid. That assurance was all I needed. The other 4 girls did not take up dentistry. I did. I graduated as a dentist in 1967. And I was determined to do all that the male dentists did, including driving the mobile to schools, communities, and to the health centers. It was a historical achievement for me. Secondly, in sports, in which I always wanted to be in the winning team, be it the softball, netball, volleyball, or athletics. However, I changed sport when I started playing table tennis. In 1966, I was Fiji's table tennis women's champion. And I represented Fiji in the 2nd South Pacific Games. Then I was encouraged to play golf, and I tried it. Well, I got addicted. After 4 years, I became Fiji's women's champion in golf. When I won the Champion of the Champion tournament and represented Fiji in 2 South Pacific Games. To those of you that play golf, my lowest handicap at the time, 30 years ago, was 5. Thirdly, in 2003, when Fiji was going through the frightful experience of having to deal with the HIV epidemic, the Ministry of Health asked me to help. I accepted the challenge, although I knew little about the infection. I spent day and night reading all I could about HIV/AIDS, because the last thing I wanted to happen is if I must ask the question about HIV and AIDS and I don't know the answer. I managed to engage with a few of those living with the virus and encouraged them to come public with their status. 2 of them joined me to be the face of HIV, to take the issue around Fiji, creating awareness, and to prevent its spread and discrimination against people living with the virus. I was their leader, and they trusted me because they knew I cared for them. We visited schools and communities, as well as Parliament, the Great Council of Chiefs, the faith-based organizations, and various communities throughout Fiji. I established the NGO Fiji Network for People Living with HIV and AIDS, and I trained them to secure donors and manage it themselves. Fourthly, as we know, the position of Speaker of Parliament is usually given to the most experienced parliamentarian. I stood for the general elections in 2014 and won a seat. It was an exciting time for me because at last I will become the parliamentarian for the first time, and to make real a dream. Yes, a dream I had in 1976 that I was a member of Parliament, but it was not to be. I was not sworn in as a member of Parliament because I was sworn in as the first female Speaker of the Parliament of Fiji. That was and still is the epic of my career. My message is, yes, when you allow yourself to experience physical and psychological empowerment, either through intuition or by creating innovations yourself, you gain confidence to achieve excellence in your goals, and the life becomes an interesting and successful adventure. My second message is to all of us, no matter what our age is, I'm 72, to aspire to be a leader, not to have followers only, but to also create leaders at different levels of our society, to value humanity, to be influential in making a difference, to have a resourceful and peaceful world. Thank you.